A boy walked into a luxury car dealership alone, wearing worn clothes, and asked to buy several supercars. The salesman laughed, but when he calmly revealed why he was really there, his voice shook and the entire showroom froze. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and comment where in the world you're watching from, because now I'm gonna tell you everything. The air in the showroom was cool and smelled of leather and glass cleaner. Three men in sleek suits stood near a shiny red sports car, their laughter sharp in the quiet space. "Well, look what just rolled in," Mr. Harris said, not even lowering his voice. He smirked at his colleagues. "Maybe our lunch delivery is early. Should we tip him extra today?" Liam Walker pushed through the heavy glass door, the bright Miami sun cutting off as it closed behind him. He felt every eye in the room. He was tall, but seemed smaller, shoulders slightly hunched under his simple gray t-shirt and the worn delivery backpack. His jeans were faded, his cap old. He did not look at the cars. He walked straight toward the three men. Mr. Vance smoothed his tie nervously, offering a weak smile. "Can we, help you find something, son? The bus stop is back out to the left." Liam stopped a few feet from them. He kept his hands at his sides. His voice was quiet but clear. "I am here to buy 2 cars. A beat of silence hung in the air. Then Mr. Harris laughed, a loud, hollow sound. "Okay, sure you are. Did you lose a bet? Is this a TikTok thing?" He waved a hand toward the showroom floor. "These aren't toy cars, kid. These cost more than you'll see in 10 years. "I know what they cost," Liam said. His eyes were steady, a warm brown that held no joke. "I want the black Mercedes G-Class and the dark blue BMW 7 Series. Mr. Vance chuckled, glancing at Harris for approval. "Those are 2 of our most expensive models. The Mercedes starts at over $130,000. The BMW is over $90,000. That's more than $200,000. He said the number slowly, as if talking to a child. "I have the money," Liam said simply. Mr. Harris shook his head, his polished smile turning cold. "You have a backpack. You have old shoes. You don't have $200,000. You're wasting our time. Seriously, go play somewhere else. We have real customers to wait for." The oldest of the 3, Mr. Collins, had not said a word. He watched Liam, his eyes thoughtful. He noticed how the boy's fingers traced the stitching on his backpack strap back and forth. He saw the way Liam stood his ground, feet planted, not shuffling away under the laughter. Liam did not leave. He took a slow breath. The shiny floor reflected the lights above, making the whole world feel too bright and too hard. "My name is Liam Walker," he began, his voice growing softer. "I am 18 years old. We don't need your life story," Mr. Harris cut in, crossing his arms. But Liam continued, looking past the smirk, past the fancy suits, to a point on the wall behind them. "I need to tell you where the money came from, or I can't spend it." The room grew still. Mr. Harris rolled his eyes, but for some reason did not interrupt again. Mr. Vance stopped fidgeting with his tie. Mr. Collins took a small step forward, listening. Liam's gaze dropped to the floor for a second, then came back up, meeting each of their eyes. "The money isn't mine, it's my parents'. Every single dollar of it." He swallowed. "My mom, Rosa, and my dad, David, they didn't go to college." He paused, the weight of his backpack feeling like the weight of every word. "For 18 years. For my whole life. Each of them worked 3 jobs. 3 jobs, Liam repeated, the words hanging in the cool, scented air. "My mom, Rosa. Her first job starts at 4 in the morning. She works at the Sunlight Diner on 8th Street, serving coffee and eggs until noon." Mr. Vance's eyes flickered. He thought of his own wife making breakfast for their daughters in their home in Kendall. 4 in the morning was still dark. "Then she goes home to our house in Hialeah," Liam continued, his voice a low, steady thread. "She sleeps for maybe 2 hours. At 3 in the afternoon, she takes 2 buses to an office building in Brickell. She cleans the offices there, she empties the trash cans, she cleans the bathrooms, she mops the floors. She finishes at 11 at night." Mr. Harris had stopped smirking. He stared at Liam, his arms still crossed, but the defensive posture seemed to tighten. "On Saturdays and Sundays," Liam said, "she does not clean offices. On those days, after her diner shift, she sews. She fixes dresses for people in our neighborhood. She makes new dresses from old fabric. Her hands always have small cuts from the needles and the scissors." Liam looked down at his own hands for a moment. "My dad, David, His day starts at 5. He drives a delivery truck for Sunshine Produce. He drives all over the county, from Miami to Fort Lauderdale, loading and unloading boxes of fruit and vegetables. He finishes that at 3 in the afternoon. Mr. Collins's head tilted slightly at the company name. His eyes grew more focused. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Liam said, he goes straight from the truck to a construction site. He helps carry materials. He helps with cleanup. He does that until 7 at night. On Tuesday and Thursday, he is in our backyard. He fixes cars for our neighbors. He changes their oil. He fixes their brakes. He does not charge very much. Sometimes he does not charge at all. A quiet had settled over the showroom. The only sound was the faint hum of the air conditioning. Mr. Vance had stopped looking at Liam and was staring at a spot on the shiny floor, his face troubled. They never bought anything new, Liam said, his tone matter-of-fact, without a trace of self-pity. Not clothes, not furniture, not a phone. We have one old television. My mom cooks every meal at home. My dad brings home fruit that is too bruised to sell from his truck. That is our dessert. They put every dollar they did not spend on food or our house into a savings account. He shifted the backpack on his shoulder. It seemed heavier now. For 18 years, since before I was born, they saved every single dollar. They did not take vacations. They did not go to movies. They did not eat in restaurants. They worked and they slept and they saved. Mr. Harris uncrossed his arms. He put his hands in his pockets, then took them out again. He did not know what to do with them. Liam looked at each of the 3 men. Yesterday was my birthday. I turned 18. They called me to our kitchen table after dinner. It was the same table we have always had. My mom put her hands on the table. Her hands are rough. My dad sat next to her. He looked very serious. Liam's voice, which had been steady, began to shake, just a little. They did not give me a party. They did not give me a big present. They gave me a small blue bank book. It was from the credit union on Palm Avenue. My dad said, "This is for you. This is for your future, for your dreams." My mom said, "Make us proud." Then they cried. I had never seen my dad cry before. The silence in Elite Motors was no longer just quiet. It was thick and heavy. It pressed down on the glittering cars and the polished floor. Mr. Harris's face felt very hot. He looked at the boy's faded t-shirt and his worn shoes with a new, dreadful understanding. This was not a costume. This was his whole life. Liam took a deep breath, his fingers tightening on the strap of his backpack. So that is where the money comes from. It is not my money. It is theirs. It is every morning at 4 in the morning. It is every mopped floor and every fixed brake and every sewn dress. All of it is in that book. He let his words settle. I am here to make them proud. Their dream was to never be so tired, to never worry about our old car breaking down on the highway. My first act with their gift is to buy their dream. 1 car for my dad, 1 car for my mom. That is why I am here. The silence in the showroom was complete. The hum of the air conditioning felt louder than before. The 3 salesmen stood frozen, each man trapped in his own thoughts, looking at the young man with the backpack in a new and terrible light. Mr. Vance was the first to move. He slowly brought a hand up to his mouth, then let it drop. He looked at his own shiny leather shoes, the ones he had bought to look the part, and thought of the small, scuffed sneakers his youngest daughter wore. He thought of the drawing she made for him that he pinned up in his cubicle. His voice was a rough whisper. You carried all that here?" Liam just nodded, his hand still tight on the strap of his backpack. Mr. Harris's face had lost all its color. The polished smile was gone, replaced by a stiff, empty expression. He turned slightly away from the group, as if looking at a glossy silver sedan, but his eyes were not seeing the car. He was seeing his own father, a man he hadn't spoken to in 5 years. He was calculating the monthly payment on his sports car, a number that suddenly felt sickening. He did not speak. It was Mr. Collins who broke the stillness. He took 2 slow steps forward, closing the distance between himself and Liam. His movements were gentle, non-threatening. His old appraising eyes were now soft with a deep recognition. "Walker, Mr." Collins said, his voice low and clear. "You said your dad's name is David Walker. Did he used to drive a route for Sunshine Produce? A big blue truck with a picture of an orange on the door?" Liam's eyes widened just a little. "Yes, for 15 years. How did you know that?" A slow, sad smile touched Mr. Collins's lips. He nodded, his gaze drifting to a memory. About 7 years ago, maybe 8, my personal truck, an old Ford, it broke down on the Dolphin Expressway. It was pouring rain, a real storm. I was on the shoulder, hood up, getting soaked. A big blue produce truck pulled over behind me. He looked back at Liam. This man got out. He didn't ask if I had roadside assistance. He didn't ask for money first. He just said, "Pop the hood, let's see." He had tools in his truck. He spent 40 minutes in the rain tracing wires. It was a bad alternator connection. He fixed it with what he had. I tried to pay him. I pulled out my wallet. He closed my hand around it and pushed it back to me. He said, "No, sir. You just get home safe to your family." He got back in his truck and drove off. Mr. Collins blinked, his eyes glistening. I never forgot his face, or his name. He told me his name was David. "That was your father?" Liam's throat felt tight. He could only nod again. "I knew that kind of work," Mr. Collins continued, speaking more to himself now. "The 3 jobs, the never stopping. I've seen it. I've serviced the cars of people who live like that. The cars are always clean, even if they're old. They take care of what they have." He focused on Liam. "So the money in that book, that's the fruit of all those mornings and all those nights?" "Yes," Liam said, his own voice thick. He finally slipped the backpack off his shoulder. He unzipped the main compartment slowly. He did not pull out a phone or a fancy wallet. He pulled out a simple blue vinyl bank book. It was worn at the corners. He held it in his hands, not offering it, just showing it. It looked incredibly small and fragile in the vast, luxurious space. Mr. Harris finally turned back. He stared at the blue book as if it were something holy and terrifying. His mouth was a dry line. All his jokes about lunch money died in his throat. This wasn't a game. This was the blood and sweat of 2 people's entire lives sitting in the palms of an 18-year-old boy. Mr. Vance took a step closer, drawn to the book. "And they just gave it to you? All of it?" "They said it was for my future," Liam repeated quietly. "For my dreams. But their dream came first. It has to." He looked from the bank book to the cars around him. "My mom's knees hurt when she has to climb out of our low, old car. My dad's back aches after 10 hours in his truck. A reliable car. That's not a luxury for them. It's rest. It's a day where they don't hurt." Mr. Collins reached out a hand, not for the book, but to gesture toward it. "May I?" he asked softly. Liam hesitated for only a second, then placed the small blue book into the older man's large, calloused hand. Mr. Collins held the small blue bank book. It felt heavy in his hand. He did not open it. He just looked at it, his thumb rubbing over the worn vinyl cover. The quiet in the room was no longer awkward. It was heavy and real. Mr. Harris cleared his throat. The sound was too loud. He walked a few steps away toward a desk, then turned back. He looked at Liam, really looked at him, for the first time. He saw the determination in the set of his jaw. He saw the tired kindness in his eyes. He did not see a kid playing a prank. He saw a young man carrying a sacred duty. "All that work," Mr. Harris said, his voice strangely hollow. "For 2 cars?" "No," Liam said, shaking his head. "Not for the cars. For a feeling. For a morning where my mom doesn't wince getting into the driver's seat. For a day when my dad isn't worried about the engine making a noise on his way to work. The cars are just the tool for that." Mr. Vance had tears in his eyes. He quickly wiped them away with the back of his hand, embarrassed. "My girls," he muttered. "They're little. I work here to give them, I don't know, nice things, a good house, but He stopped, unable to finish the thought. He had laughed at this boy. He had judged him by his t-shirt. The shame was a hot wave in his chest. Mr. Collins finally handed the bank book back to Liam with great care, as if it were made of glass. "It's all there, isn't it?" he asked, not needing an answer. "Every dime?" "Yes, sir," Liam said, putting it carefully back into his backpack. "So," Mr. Harris said, walking back toward them. He spread his hands, his usual salesman gesture, but it seemed weak now. "You want the G-Class in the 7 Series. We can do that. We can make that happen today." His words were professional, but the boastful tone was gone. It was just flat, factual. But Mr. Collins was still watching Liam. He was thinking about more than the sale. He saw the nicks on Liam's hands. He remembered the boy mentioned fixing car computers for friends. He remembered a conversation he'd had months ago with a shop teacher at Miami Springs High about a quiet student who had a gift for engine diagnostics. "Before we get the paperwork," Mr. Collins said slowly, "I have a question for you, Liam. You know cars. You fix them. What do you want? I mean, for asterisk, you asterisk. Your parents gave you that book for your future. What is your future?" Liam seemed surprised by the question. He glanced at the high-tech service garage visible through a large window at the back of the showroom. He saw the lifts and the diagnostic computers. I want to be an engineer. I learn online. I watch videos. I take apart old electronics. I fix things." "He's good," Mr. Vance blurted out, then seemed surprised at his own words. "I mean, I heard from a guy at the parts store. He said a kid from Hialeah fixed a complicated hybrid battery issue for a neighbor. Was that you?" Liam nodded, a faint hint of pride breaking through his solemn expression. "Yes, I found the fault in the power control module. The dealer wanted $3,000 to replace the whole system. I resoldered one connection." Mr. Collins let out a long, slow breath. He looked from Liam to Mr. Harris, then to the empty, sparkling showroom. A decision hardened in his eyes. "This place," he began, his voice dropping. "Elite Motors, it's not what it looks like." Mr. Harris stiffened. "Walter, what are you talking about?" "The glitter is for show," Mr. Collins said, not taking his eyes off Liam. "The owner, Mr. Sterling, is in New York right now. He's not there buying more luxury cars. He's there signing papers to sell this dealership to a big chain. They're going to fire most of the staff. They're going to turn it into a volume lot. No more service garage. No more personal care." Mr. Vance's mouth fell open. "What? No one told us that." "He didn't want panic. He wanted the numbers to look good until the deal was done," Mr. Collins said. "All this pressure for sales, it's not about profit. It's about making the books look attractive for one last quarter." He turned fully to Liam. "So you see, young man, you are standing in a dream that is about to end, just like your parents' dream of never being tired is about to begin." The air shifted again. Liam's mission to buy 2 cars was now happening on a stage that was about to be torn down. He looked around the beautiful, doomed showroom, confusion on his face. Mr. Harris looked pale. His perfect world of commissions and shiny watches was cracking. We're being sold? And you knew?" "I've worked here for 42 years, Mr. Collins said quietly. "I know everything. And I have one piece of authority Mr. Sterling gave me long ago, before he stopped caring. I have the final say on who works in my service garage." He focused intently on Liam. "I have a different offer for you, Liam Walker." Mr. Collins's words hung in the air. Asterisk, a different offer. Liam's hand tightened on his backpack strap. He had come here for one thing. Now the ground was shifting under his feet. "An offer?" he asked cautiously. Mr. Harris took a step forward, his polished demeanor replaced by raw confusion. "Walter, what authority? The garage is part of the dealership. If the place is being sold, the garage is my domain," Mr. Collins stated, his voice leaving no room for argument. "Mr. Sterling gave me that in writing a long time ago, when he still cared about quality over flash. The new owners can fire the sales team. They can't touch my garage crew without my say-so until the final papers are signed, and I have a say in who joins that crew before then." He turned his full attention back to Liam. "You have the money to buy 2 cars. You can do that. You can walk out of here today and give your parents a gift they never dreamed of. And that is a good thing, a beautiful thing." He paused, letting his next words sink in. "But your parents didn't save for 18 years so you could just asterisk spend asterisk money. They saved so you could asterisk build asterisk a future. Yes?" Liam nodded slowly. "Yes. They wanted me to have choices." "Exactly. Choices, Mr. Collins said. He pointed a thumb toward the large window behind him, through which the service garage was visible. "In there, we have the best diagnostic computers in Miami. We have tools your father could only dream of. We have hybrid systems, electric vehicle batteries, complex engine computers, the kind of things you learn about online." Liam's eyes drifted to the garage. A flicker of genuine interest, of hunger, passed over his face. "I am offering you a job," Mr. Collins said plainly. "A full-time job. You start as a technician's apprentice. You learn from the ground up. You get your hands on the technology of tomorrow. You earn a salary. You gain experience. In 1 year, you will have a real career started." Mr. Vance's eyes were wide. "But the cars?" He still gets the cars, Mr. Collins said, looking at Liam. That is the offer. You take the job. You use your parents' gift to buy the 2 cars for them, but you also start building your own future with your own hands, just like they did. You honor the letter of their gift and the spirit of it. The simplicity of the offer was stunning. Liam stood very still, processing it. A real job, with real tools, learning real skills. It was everything he wanted but never thought he could have so soon. Mr. Harris let out a low breath. He looked from Collins's steady face to Liam's thoughtful one. A war was happening inside him. His whole life was about the quick sale, the big commission. This was something else. This was about building something. He thought of his own empty apartment, filled with expensive things bought on credit. He had built nothing of value. The commission on those 2 cars, Mr. Harris started, then stopped. He shook his head as if shaking off an old habit. No, forget the commission. He looked at Liam, his expression uncharacteristically earnest. If you do this, if you take the job and buy the cars, I will personally handle the deal. I will make sure you get every possible discount. I will make sure the financing, if you need any, is at the lowest rate. Not for me, for them. Vance stared at his colleague, shocked. Arlo, you never… I know what I never do, Harris interrupted, his voice rough. I've never done a single thing in this job that wasn't for me. He looked at the blue backpack. That book. It's the most honest thing I've ever seen in this room. I want to help. Let me do that one thing right. Liam looked at the 3 men, the old mechanic with a secret authority, the flashy salesman seeking redemption, and the nervous family man wiping his eyes. He had walked in expecting to be thrown out. Now they were offering him a job and a champion. He thought of his mother's hands. He thought of his father's refusal to take money from Mr. Collins on the highway. His choice was no longer just about buying cars. It was about what kind of man he wanted to become. The showroom was silent, waiting for his answer. Liam looked at Mr. Harris. The man's confident mask was gone. In its place was a raw, uncomfortable honesty that seemed to pain him. Why? Liam asked simply. Why would you do that? The commission on those cars must be a lot. A bitter smile twisted Mr. Harris's lips. It is. It's a lot, and I need it. I need it desperately. He laughed, but it was a hollow, sad sound. You see this suit? This watch? He held up his wrist, the gold gleaming under the lights. I don't own them. The bank does. My apartment in Brickell with the water view, the bank owns that too. My sports car parked out back, the bank. Mr. Vance stared, his jaw slack. Arlo, you always said… I always said I was killing it, Harris finished, his voice dropping. I said I was top of the game. I said business was great. It was all a show, a performance. I have been pretending to be rich for so long I believed it myself. But the truth is, I am in debt. Deep, deep debt. I bought the image because I thought the image was the job. He looked around the glittering showroom. And now this place is being sold. I'll be out of a job. The banks will come for everything. The confession hung in the air, ugly and real. It was the opposite of the blue bank book. One was a life of sacrifice saved with pure love. The other was a life of pretense, drowning in borrowed money. Mr. Collins nodded slowly, not surprised. I've seen the repossessions in the employee lot, Arlo. I wondered when you'd stop. Harris looked directly at Liam, his eyes pleading. When you walked in, I saw your clothes. I saw your backpack. I judged you in a second. I thought, this kid has nothing. He is nobody. He swallowed hard. But you have everything. You have something real. You have a purpose that isn't about a shiny watch. You have parents who love you so much they broke their backs for you. I have monthly payments. He took a step closer, his voice intense. Let me help you. Let me use what I'm actually good at, making a deal, working the numbers, to do one thing that isn't about my commission. Let me get you those cars for your parents at a price that honors them. Not for me, for them, and for me, to remember what doing something right feels like. Liam was silent. He had come here braced for ridicule, not for the shattered confessions of grown men. He looked at Mr. Collins. The job, is it real? It's not just pity. No pity, Mr. Collins said firmly. The garage needs young minds who understand the new technology. You have a skill. I need that skill. It is a business offer, a real one. And the cars? Liam asked. We will make it work, Mr. Harris said, a new determination in his voice. However it works best for you and your family, I give you my word. Mr. Vance finally found his voice. I want to help too. I don't have any special authority, but I can do the paperwork right. I can make sure nothing gets missed. He struggled, wanting to be part of this better thing. I can be the one who explains everything clearly to your parents when they come to get the cars. In Spanish if they prefer. Liam looked at the three of them. The arrogant salesman, the nervous follower, and the wise old mechanic. Their world was falling apart. His parents' world was about to change. And in the middle of it, they were offering him a bridge between the two. He thought of his mom's tired smile. He thought of his dad's steady hands. They had given him their entire lives in a blue book. Taking the job felt like the first step in giving them a real return. Buying the cars was the gift for today. The job was the promise for all their tomorrows. He took a deep breath. The weight of the decision was immense, but for the first time, it felt like a weight he could carry forward, not just hold. I need to think for a minute, Liam said quietly. Is that okay? Of course, Mr. Collins said. Take your time. Liam walked a few steps away, toward the large window of the service garage. He watched a technician in a clean uniform plug a computer into a sleek, silent electric car. It was a world of knowledge, a world of the future, a world he had only ever dreamed of touching. Liam stood by the window, watching the technician in the garage. The man was focused, solving a problem. It was a world of logic and solutions, not glitter and judgment. He thought of his father under a neighbor's car in their backyard, solving problems with limited tools. He thought of his own hands, eager to learn more. He turned back to the three men. They were waiting, each man's face etched with a different kind of hope. Mr. Harris hoped for a chance to be useful. Mr. Vance hoped to be part of something good. Mr. Collins hoped to pass on his knowledge to someone who deserved it. Liam walked toward them, his mind clear. If I take the job, he said to Mr. Collins, when would I start? A light sparked in the old man's eyes. Tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. We start early. And the salary? Liam asked. He needed to be practical. We would start you at $18 an hour, full-time, with a review in 6 months, Mr. Collins said. It is an apprentice wage, but it is a real wage. You will learn. Your pay will grow as your skills grow. Liam did the math in his head. It was more than his mother made at the diner. It was a real foundation. He then looked at Mr. Harris. And the cars, the Mercedes and the BMW. Can you make a deal where I use a large part of the savings for a down payment but finance the rest, so I do not empty the account completely? I would use my new salary to make the monthly payments. Mr. Harris's whole posture changed. It was as if a real businessman, buried under years of pretense, suddenly woke up. He nodded briskly. Yes, absolutely. That is the smart way. It preserves your parents' capital. It builds your credit. With a strong down payment from that savings book, and with your new job as proof of income, I can get you an excellent rate, much lower than standard. He pulled out his phone, his fingers flying over the screen, already running numbers. We can configure the exact models. The G-Class with the package your dad would need for his driving. The 7 Series with the seats that would be easiest for your mom's knees. Mr. Vance stepped forward, eager to contribute. I can prepare all the paperwork for both the car purchases and the employment contract. I will make 2 clear, simple packets. One for the cars, one for the job. You can take them home. You can show your parents everything. No fine print. Liam felt a surge of something warm and strong in his chest. It wasn't just about getting what he came for. It was about being seen, being helped, being offered a path he hadn't dared to imagine just an hour ago. There is one more thing, Liam said. He looked at Mr. Collins. My parents, they will be confused. They gave me this money for my dreams. If I come home with 2 cars asterisk and asterisk a job, they might think I am throwing away my future on them. Mr. Collins shook his head. You bring them here. You let me talk to them. I will tell them about the boy who fixed a hybrid battery by resoldering a connection. I will tell them their son has a gift this business needs. I will tell them that true love is not just giving a gift, but building a future alongside it. They will understand. Liam believed him. He looked at Mr. Harris, who was still absorbed in his phone, muttering numbers about interest rates and residuals. He looked at Mr. Vance, who was already fetching clean folders from a desk. He looked at Mr. Collins, whose steady gaze was like an anchor. He did not need any more time to think. "Okay," Liam said, the word feeling solid and right. "Okay, I accept the job, and I want to buy the cars for my parents. Let's do it." "Mr." Harris looked up from his phone, a genuine, unpolished smile breaking across his face. It was the first real smile Liam had seen from him. "All right then, Liam Walker," he said, his voice firm. "Let's go build two dreams at once." Mr. Harris placed his phone on the desk with a soft click. All traces of the loud, mocking salesman were gone. In his place was a man focused on a single, important task. "Okay, Liam. The first step is the most important step. I need to see the bank book. I need to verify the funds. This is not because I doubt you. This is because the finance company will need proof. It is the rule." Liam nodded. He understood rules. He unzipped his backpack once more and took out the small blue book. He handed it to Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris took it with both hands. He opened it carefully. His eyes scanned the lines of deposits. They were not large numbers. They were numbers like $120, $85, $230. But there were pages and pages of them. 18 years of them. The final balance was written at the bottom in neat, typed numbers. Mr. Harris's breath caught. He stared at the number. He did not say it out loud. He simply turned the book around and showed the bottom line to Mr. Vance. Mr. Vance leaned in. His eyes grew wide. "Oh," he whispered. It was a sound of pure awe. He looked from the book to Liam's face. All those small deposits, they really did save every single dollar. Mr. Collins did not need to see the number. He saw it on their faces. He saw the profound respect that replaced all earlier judgment. "It is enough," Mr. Harris said, his voice hushed. "It is more than enough for a strong down payment on both vehicles." He closed the book gently. "We will make a copy of this page for our files. Then I will walk you through the numbers. You will see every cost. You will understand every part of the deal before you sign anything." "I want my parents to understand too," Liam said. "Of course," Mr. Vance said. He was already at the printer getting papers ready. "We will make everything in 2 sets, one in English, one in Spanish. Simple words, big print." For the next hour, the 4 of them worked around a small desk. Mr. Harris explained the price of each car, the down payment, the loan amount, the interest rate, and the monthly payment. Liam asked questions, clear, smart questions about the loan term and the warranty. Mr. Collins listened, interjecting only about the technical aspects of the cars. "The BMW has seats that massage and heat. That will help your mother's back after long days. The Mercedes has a very strong suspension. It will feel safe and solid for your father on the highway." Liam would nod, filing the information away. Finally, Mr. Harris slid a paper across the desk. It showed the final monthly payment for both cars combined. It was a large number, but next to it, Mr. Harris had written the monthly salary Liam would earn at his new job. "You see?" Mr. Harris said, pointing. "The payment is less than 1/3 of your take-home pay. It is responsible. It is manageable. You will still be able to contribute to your home. You will still be able to save. You are not repeating their sacrifice. You are building on it." Liam looked at the 2 numbers side by side. His future salary, earned with his own skill, supporting his parents' dream. It was perfect. It was exactly the bridge he needed. "I want to do it," Liam said firmly. "Then we need your parents," Mr. Vance said. "They will need to be here to sign as co-owners, since you are only 18. They need to agree." Liam pulled out his simple, old phone. He took a deep breath. He dialed his mother's number. She would be between her diner shift and her cleaning job. She would be tired. It rang 2 times. "Mijo?" Her voice came through, warm but laced with the usual fatigue. "Is everything okay?" "Everything is more than okay, Mommy," Liam said, a smile breaking through in his voice for the first time that day. "I need you and Papi to come to the car dealership, the one on Biscayne Boulevard, Elite Motors." A pause. "Liam, what did you do? Did you get in trouble?" "No, Mommy, no trouble. I found the cars, and I found something else too, a future. Please, just come. Bring Papi. There are some good men here who want to meet you." He could hear the worry and confusion in her silence. "Okay, mijo. We will come. Your father is in the backyard. We will get on the bus." "Take a taxi," Liam said quickly. "Please, use the money from the grocery jar. I will explain when you get here." He hung up and looked at the three men. "They are on their way." Mr. Collins stood up. "Good. While we wait, let me show you the garage. Let me show you where you will start tomorrow." Liam followed him toward the door to the service area, leaving Mr. Harris and Mr. Vance to prepare the final papers. As he walked, he did not look back at the shiny showroom cars. He looked ahead, to the world of tools and practical problems ready to be solved. The heavy glass door of Elite Motors swung open. Rosa and David Walker stood just inside, blinking under the bright lights. They looked small and out of place. Rosa wore a simple, clean dress and carried a worn handbag. David was in clean work pants and a collared shirt, his hands clasped tightly in front of him. Their eyes were wide with nervousness as they searched for their son. Liam rushed from the service garage entrance to meet them. "Mommy, Papi, you came." Rosa immediately reached for his face, her eyes scanning for any sign of trouble. "Liam, what is this? Why are we in this place?" Her voice was a worried whisper. David's gaze swept over the gleaming cars, then fixed on the three men in suits approaching them. He put a protective hand on Liam's shoulder. "Is everything all right, son?" Mr. Collins stepped forward first. He offered his hand to David. "Mr. Walker, my name is Walter Collins. We have met before, a long time ago, on the Dolphin Expressway. In the rain." David shook his hand slowly, his eyes searching the older man's face. Then, recognition dawned. The green Ford with the alternator cable. A genuine smile broke across Mr. Collins's face. "You remember. You would not take my money." David shrugged, a little embarrassed. "It was a simple fix. You needed to get home." "And now," Mr. Collins said, "it is my turn to help your family get home, in a new way." He gestured for them to come further into the showroom. "Please, let us sit. There is much to explain." They moved to a small seating area. Rosa held Liam's hand tightly. Mr. Vance brought them cold bottles of water. Mr. Harris stood respectfully to the side, letting Mr. Collins take the lead. "Your son came here today," Mr. Collins began, "to do an extraordinary thing. He came to buy 2 cars, one for each of you, with the money you gave him." Rosa gasped. David's stern expression turned to one of shock. "No, Liam," David said firmly. "That money is for you, for your school, for your life." "That is what I told him," Mr. Collins said gently. "And he told me your dream. He told me about tired backs and sore knees and worry. He wants to end that worry for you. That is his first dream." He leaned forward. "But I saw something else in your son. I saw a mind for machinery. I saw a talent. So I made him a second offer. I offered him a job, a real job, here in our service garage, learning to be a technician. A career. And the cars for you both still." Rosa and David looked at each other, completely confused. They looked at Liam. "He needs to choose," Mr. Harris said, stepping forward. He spoke with a new, direct honesty. "Option 1, he buys you the cars with the savings. It is a beautiful gift. Option 2, he takes the job, earns his own salary, and still buys you the cars using part of the savings and his new income. He starts his future asterisk, and asterisk gives you your dream." Mr. Vance placed 2 neat folders on the table. One said, "Automotive Purchase Agreement." The other said, "Employment Contract." "It is all here, in Spanish. Everything is clear." David looked at the folders, then at his son. "You want this job, Liam?" "More than anything, Papi," Liam said, his voice fervent. "It is what I learn online. It is real. Mr. Collins says I have a skill. But the money, our money." "It was for your freedom," Rosa said, her eyes filling with tears. "Not for us." Liam took both her hands in his. They felt small and rough. "Mommy, listen. You gave me your freedom. Every dollar in that book is a day you worked for me. Buying you a car is my first thank you. Taking this job is my promise. A promise that your work will turn into my work. That your sacrifice will build my life, not just pay for a car." David watched his son. He saw the man he was becoming. He saw the earnest faces of the 3 salesmen. He saw the way Mr. Collins looked at Liam with respect, not pity. "How much is the job?" David asked Mr. Collins. $18 an hour to start, full-time, with raises as he learns." David nodded slowly. It was a solid wage, a man's wage. He looked at the cars, then at the garage door. He understood tools. He understood honest work. He looked at his wife, Rosa. He is not a boy spending money. He is a man making a plan. Rosa searched Liam's face. She saw no childish excitement, only deep, steady determination. She saw the son who had always watched, always learned, always helped. She slowly nodded. "The choice is still yours, Liam," Mr. Collins said softly. "Your parents understand both paths. What do you choose?" All eyes turned to Liam. He looked at his parents' tired, hopeful faces. He thought of the quiet hum of the garage, a world of problems he could solve. He thought of the blue bank book, a weight of love he could now carry forward, not just hold. He took a deep, steadying breath. "I choose the job," Liam said, his voice clear in the quiet showroom. "And I choose to buy the cars for my parents. I choose both." For a moment, no one moved. Then Rosa Walker brought her hands to her face and began to cry. They were not sad tears. They were tears of a weight being lifted. David reached over and put a strong arm around his son's shoulders, pulling him close. He did not speak. He just held him. Mr. Collins closed his eyes for a second and nodded. A deep satisfaction settled on his weathered face. Mr. Harris clapped his hands together once, a sharp, decisive sound. "Okay, then let's make it official. Simon, the contracts." Mr. Vance jumped into action. He opened the two folders. He placed the employment contract in front of Liam and Mr. Collins. He placed the car purchase agreements in front of Liam, Rosa, and David. "The job first, Mr. Collins said. He took a pen from his pocket. "This states your position as apprentice technician. Your start date is tomorrow. Your start time is 7 in the morning. Your starting wage is $18 per hour. You will report to me." He signed his name with a steady hand and pushed the paper to Liam. Liam took the pen. He signed his name on the line. Asterisk Liam Walker. It felt different than signing a school paper. This was his future. "Now the cars," Mr. Harris said. He became a guide, pointing to each line on the Spanish documents. "This is the final price for the Mercedes G-Class. This is the final price for the BMW 7 Series. This is the total down payment from your savings. This is the loan amount. This is the interest rate. This is the monthly payment." He looked at David and Rosa. "Your son will make this payment with his salary from his new job. Your savings remain mostly untouched for his future needs." David listened carefully. He asked a few questions about the warranty and the insurance. Mr. Harris answered plainly, with no fancy talk. When everything was clear, David took the pen. He signed his name on the papers for the Mercedes. Rosa, her hand still trembling, signed her name on the papers for the BMW. It was done. Mr. Harris gathered the papers. "The cars will be detailed and ready for you in 1 hour. We will fill the tanks with gas. We will put temporary tags on them. You can drive them home today." Rosa looked at Liam, her eyes shining. "You start work tomorrow?" "Yes, Mommy, at 7. She turned to Mr. Collins. "You will teach him? You will be patient with him?" Mr. Collins smiled. "Senora Walker, I have been waiting for a student who wants to learn as much as he does. I will teach him everything I know." David stood up. He walked over to Mr. Harris and offered his hand. "Thank you for treating my son with respect and for this fair deal." Mr. Harris shook his hand, a firm grip. "Thank you, Mr. Walker, for raising a son who reminded me what my job should be." An hour later, the two cars were parked at the front of the dealership. The black Mercedes stood strong and solid. The dark blue BMW looked sleek and comfortable. The temporary license plates were bright in the sun. Liam handed the keys to the Mercedes to his father. He handed the keys to the BMW to his mother. David opened the driver's door of his new truck. He sat in the seat. He put his hands on the wheel. He looked straight ahead for a long moment. Then he looked at his son through the open window. His eyes were full. He simply nodded. Rosa got into her car. She touched the smooth leather of the seat. She found the button for the seat warmer. A small, amazed laugh escaped her lips. Liam stood between the two cars with the 3 salesmen. Mr. Vance was smiling openly. Mr. Harris watched the family with a look of quiet peace. Mr. Collins placed a hand on Liam's shoulder. "Go home with them today," Mr. Collins said. Help them get used to the cars. Tomorrow, your new life starts. Be here at 7. Liam nodded. He got into the passenger seat of his father's new car. David started the engine. It was a quiet, powerful hum. Together, the two new cars pulled out of the Elite Motors lot and onto Biscayne Boulevard. One turned toward the highway. One turned toward the city. Both drove toward the same small house in Hialeah, where for the first time in 18 years, a dream was waiting in the driveway.